Flosstube friends. My name is Megan. Welcome to Stories and Stitches. This is Flosstube episode 1. Not gonna lie, I've still been going back and forth between the names, so if the channel name is slightly different than what I just said, I apologize for that. But hopefully that's the one we're sticking with. So as I said, this is Flosstube number 1. I have been considering doing a Flosstube channel for a while now and keep going back and forth for lots of reasons. Because it's a little bit scary, not gonna lie, to put yourself out there into the Flosstube world, and I'm also really good at ideas and starting things and not always that great with continuing and follow through. So here we are. I've decided to jump in and we will see how it goes. So I apologize if you see me looking down. I have my notes in front of me. I'm going to try not to look at them too much, but since this is the first one, I probably will look at them a little bit so that we can stay on track. So a little bit about me to start. As I said, my name is Megan. I'm from Ontario, Canada, and I am a lifelong crafter. Currently I'm working as a trainer at the company I work at. I just started in that, but then I am also a writer, an aspiring writer, however you want to call that, which means that I'm currently in the middle of editing my first novel. So that's exciting and kind of scary and still a whole lot of fun. I also have lots of different creative ideas in mind for projects I want to work on. Hence the Stories and Stitches. Two of the things I love are crafts that involve stitching in some way or another, some kind of stitches, and stories, whether that is books, TV, movies, video games, all different kinds of stories. Kind of is a lot of the things that make up my life. So yeah, as I said, I'm a lifelong crafter. I started cross-stitching when I was really little. I don't even know when it would have been at this point. I don't know how old I was, but my mom cross-stitched and did lots of other crafts, and I sort of joined in along with her and cross-stitched when I was little for a long time. Sorry, I just really want to adjust this camera just a tiny teeny little bit. Sorry about that. Okay, so as I was saying, my mom cross-stitched and did lots of other crafts like knitting, and I picked it up as we went along. I cross-stitched probably until high school era, sort of high school-ish, at which point I wasn't finding as many cross-stitch patterns that interested me and that I really liked. And I hadn't discovered any of the online. We didn't really have a local needle shop in town, so mostly it was Michael's and a few other craft stores, and then the other craft stores closed down, and then nothing had too much that I was interested in stitching. So I mostly paused for a really long time and then picked it back up again when I discovered Flosstube and the world of patterns that is out there now, and over-dyed flosses and hand-dyed fabric, and it was like a door opened up and I rediscovered cross-stitch, and I picked it back up in 2021 and I haven't looked back. As I said, I also do other stitchy projects. I knit, I crochet, I sew. I've started getting into quilting over the last year and a half. That was a lifelong thing I wanted to get into and never had, and then finally took the plunge last year, and I'm loving that. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me. I'm probably gonna try and keep this channel mostly cross-stitch, but I'd also really just like to share all of my crafting journey with you. So let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in seeing some other crafty things. I am currently planning on starting with them, and we'll see how it goes. I may do a separate video to show my non-cross-stitch stitchy related projects, works in progress. But speaking of works in progress, today I thought it would be good to start off with a WIP parade. I love watching WIP parades personally, I'll watch them any time of year, and I love them as a great new way to get introduced to a floss tuber. You get a bit of an idea of what types of things I stitch, you get to know them a little bit, and so I thought that I would start off with WIP Parade today. I currently have 22 WIPs, or works in progress, which I know is probably a lot for some of you, and for some of you it's barely even compares to the number of projects that you have on the go. In the past, I was always a 1 or 2 project person. I've always had many things on the go, but didn't normally have too many cross stitch projects on the go. So I've slowly been adding those in since I started back in. And this year I was hovering in and around the 2022 or 22-23 range when we started the year, and I thought it would be a great plan to stick to around 23 WIPs for this year. So I don't want to go over that amount. If I do go over that, which I did a couple months ago, if I do, then the goal is to get down below that as quickly as possible. So far, I'm doing not too bad. As you heard, I have 22 WIPs right now because I just finished one last weekend. And yeah, but we'll see how that lasts for the rest of the year, because I do have a lot of projects that I want to start, and I've been slowly finishing some of the smaller ones that I had on the go. So at a certain point, we may end up in a situation where I can't keep to that, but that's the goal. That is what I am working on. So anyways, enough rambling on. How about we get right into the WIPs? So I have a giant pile of WIPs to the side of me here, which you can't see. I have my bucket where most of them live back here behind me. So I'm probably going to try and transfer them into there as we go. I've tried to unzip anything that needs zips, but I wanted to keep them in the bags as much as possible so that I don't have a giant mess later on. I also haven't ironed any of them. My iron is out right now, but my worry was if I went and took the time to iron them, I wasn't going to do the video today. So I figured, let's do the video and we won't worry about ironing. I have, where necessary, taken everything out of Q-snaps or frames. But yeah, let's get to it. So my first WIP is currently living in just one of these little envelopes here, which half of mine are in. Probably I kind of use a combination of things. And this is my oldest WIP. Oh, that was one other thing. I have everything over here in chronological order from when I started it. So we're gonna try and stick to that and see how we go. So this one is my oldest. I do not know when I started it. This was when I started before I kind of paused on cross stitch. I think if I found the copyright one time, and I think it's around 2000. So this is, and I really hope that these aren't going to all be backwards for you. I'm going to do my best to try to make it so that that's not the case. But this is Footprints by Teresa Wensler. And it is a kit by Leisure Arts, and I think I started it in the early 2000s, somewhere around there, and it got paused. I do really love this one, and I have to say, the colors here, the actual color, this picture does not do it justice. Like any of those really old kits, it doesn't do it justice at all. This one is a slow going piece though. It has a lot of detail. If any of you have ever stitched Teresa Wensler, you know there's a lot of detail and there's a lot of specialty stitches, but I am loving it. So that is where we're at so far. I have the whole top border done there. So this whole border here is all done and back stitched, and this corner is done. And then I'm working down through this one here, and then I've moved into some words recently. I am trying to backstitch and specialty stitch as I go along because I don't like leaving it until the very end, because that just doesn't work for me. As you see, this is way back from when I was still masking taping the edges. I really should take that off and sew it up, but I haven't done that yet. And it is on 28 count even weave, I believe, and it is, yeah, 28 count even weave over 2. That is my oldest WIP, and I would really love, I had one point had a goal to get that done this year. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I would like that one done sooner rather than later. All right. The number 2. So when I got back, a lot of the projects when I got back into cross stitch, so in 2021, this is where we're moving into 2021 now, I have finished a lot of them. There's just a couple still remaining from that year, so I apologize for the crinkling. This one is in a really super classy IKEA bag, plastic bag, because that's how I roll. And this one here, I started in June of 2021, and it's an old dimensions kit from 1997. And it was one we had kicking around, and I figured, hey, I'm just getting back into cross stitch, better work all with light colors. Let me show it to you. With all light colors on light fabric. You'll see the fabric color in a second. Over 2. So this one is 28 count even weave. I'm doing it over, it's over 2. I'd say 2 over 2, but this is a dimensions kit, which means that that varies, and it's a dimensions kit from the 90s, which means a lot of times we're using 3 strands, because on 28 count, a lot of patterns I have found from the 90s used 3 strands of floss instead of 2. So this is my snow leopard. It's called the Snow Leopard. It's by June Payne Hart. As I said, charted, it's kit by dimensions. I'm using all kit materials, and again, I apologize for the crinkling. This is on a sort of a beige fabric. And here he is there. Isn't he cute? He got put in timeout. I was rocking and rolling on him. He then got put in timeout for a while because I was working in and up here, and I got off a half a stitch. So like one hole I counted wrong, and that was going to put this whole section off. And since everything is based on that, I had to frog out a lot of stitches. I also had the worst time getting his eyes right. So one of his eyes was like higher than the other. I'm telling you, these colors on this fabric is no joke, but like, look at how good he looks in the camera. Oh my gosh. He's making me want to pick him back up again. I have a prompt in one of the challenges I'm doing. So I was going to talk about this a bit later, but I'm doing in the Fandom Stitching Central challenge group, which I heard of from, I think it's Cozy Gaming Jamie. I really love her. I'll link her below. So I'm in that one, and there's a challenge this month that's to stitch on, I don't remember how many stitches into a project that has wounded you. And I'm thinking of using this for that one, because it's a wound to your soul when you have to frog so many times. But oh my gosh, he looks so good. People say about how much better they look in the camera, and whew, I'm feeling it. I'm seeing that there. All right, let's put him away. Otherwise we're never getting through. I'd only have 22 projects, but if I keep up at this rate, we're not getting through them at any time. All right, we've done 2 projects, 2. 13 minutes in, and you've seen 2. Here's another one I started in June of 2021 because it was a kit that I had floating around, and I thought, I have all these kits floating around, might as well start them. So this one here is Tattered Teddy by Busilla. I don't know the artist at all, but it is by Busilla. It's a kit from 1998. It's not really in my usual style, although I stitch so many different random things that who's to say what my usual style is, but he is super cute. But like, he's full coverage, and the pattern itself is, I mean, I wish I could show you this. I won't, because I'm not going to show you the pattern, but it's like, it looks like it's photocopied. So it's not, it's the kit pattern, but it's got that loss of quality, and it is so hard to read. Like, it's so hard to read. It's a pattern that I think should have been in color. It was done in black and white. It's terrible, which is why it's taking me so long. I don't think I touched it once last year. Didn't pick it up once. Ignored it. sort of pretended it didn't exist, and have picked it up, and I'm working on it again this year because I want it done. I wanted it done in January, and then, you know, got the slap in the face realization that I was not nearly far enough along to get it done in January. That's how he looks. He's my creepy teddy bear without a face. But the goal is to finish it this year. That's the plan for him, because he is cute. He has lots of specialty stitches I still have to do, but he's coming. He's getting there. We're getting there. Maybe next time he'll have a face. Probably not, because you're probably going to see another video in a couple weeks. And there's no plan in the next couple weeks. So that's that one. All right. Project number 4 is so this is also one I started in 2021. I started this one in December 28th of 2021. So we're into December, jump from June to December. Everything else I started in 2021 that summer. I've finished. A lot of them were presents and they're finished and done. But at Christmas, I found another kit we had floating around. This one is a Jan Lynn one. I say floating around. I mean, that's such a strange phrase. Anyways, this is Jan Lynn. It's a Santa. It is called Santa's Journey. This is another kit from 1998. That's probably about the time that we stopped doing a ton of cross stitch. But yeah, so this one is on 14 count Aida, and this one's not off the frame because I actually have this one on a scroll frame. So I don't know how to show this here. I can't see it, but here he is. I'm working on a reindeer right now. I have a needle minder from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I love their needle minders. They are such good quality. Anyways, so this is my Santa's Journey. I'm really liking him. I'm hoping to pick him up again shortly. Look at this, how terrible this is. I spilt wine on him over here. Thank goodness he's mostly full coverage, because don't drink wine in cross stitch. It's not a good choice. I'm hoping to get back to this one. I stitch Christmas all year. This year I've actually set aside a couple dates. So in the month I try to stitch on Christmas on the 24th and 25th of each month, when I remember that those are the dates that we're at. I haven't touched this one at all this year because there was a different one that I was working on that I've actually finished now. So I think this one might be next up on the rotation to start working on, but it's big. I don't expect to have it done this year at all, unless something crazy happens. Not looking good. Okay, I apologize if I'm talking too fast. It is extremely, I don't know, it's just a little bit nerve-wracking getting used to talking to a camera. Even though I'm all alone here in my trailer, I'm gonna try and not talk so fast. So I apologize if I am speeding through here. Actually, I'm gonna take a quick drink of water. Bear with me. All right, moving on to I think this next one is the last one from 2021. So I think that's 5 projects still remaining from 2021 or earlier. The last one is Flea Market Flowers. I apologize for the glare. I didn't take this one out of the package. That's Flea Market Flowers by It's So Emma. Again, this one's a little bit outside my normal style, but I just love the colors of it so much. I love the colors. I mean, look, me and it match. Match. Twins. I am doing this one on 28 count, sort of a cream even weave, and I'm doing it 2/2. I think this is the top. That's how far I am. I've recently started to do the border. I want to get the whole border, the whole frame done, and then I can kind of start working in each square. Once I get the frame done, I might piece it out and see if I can do, I don't know, 1 a month or something to get it done. I would really like this one. Always has more stitching in it than I expect, but I would really like to get that one done this year. That is a goal for this one. My goal is I'd like to get a lot of my projects that aren't super huge and are a little bit older done this year. I like to stitch for progress, but I also like finishes, and I don't like projects to kind of hang around for too long. I say, we'll see. There's a few that have been living for many years, and there's you'll see shortly there's a few that are going to take many years. So, but anyways, moving on, as I ramble over here, we are into 2022. So this next one was started in January 9th of 2022. I don't have that great of a picture. So it is called either Keep Shining or Shoot for the Moon, depending on where you look. Let me see, will this work here? It is by Emma Congdon of Stitcherovia. And I have it from a magazine. This is from, what magazine is this? I'm not sure what magazine this one is. Maybe, I don't know. Probably Cross Stitcher, the Cross Stitcher. That one I get a lot of them from. I have a lot from there. Anyways, I have gotten a ton of progress on this one lately. For Fandom Stitching Central Mania Challenge, I'm working on the one WIP. So the WIP I started with, I finished, and I'm on to my second one. And so I've done up to day 9, I think. And I've done, I don't remember, about a week on this one. So we're doing 200 stitches a day for it to count, and then either 15 or 23 days. So again, this one has bad masking tape on it, and I know it's not ideal. But there's that one there. Oh, this is on 14 count Navy Ada, and this is a Witchelt Ada, which I know some people don't love the Witchelt because it's hard. I find once I start using it, it does soften up and doesn't bother me too much. But I know that not everyone is a fan of Witchelt. But the thing that actually bothers me the most about this one is I don't think you can tell, but there's like those little ninja stitches are all in like DMC Light Effects sparkle thread, and it's a treat to work on at the best of times, and then when you're trying to do ninja stitches, I've had to redo a few of them. I think I have a process for them now, but it's been something. I love the effect, but it's not my favorite. Next up, we have, when did I start this? February 20th in 2022, which I think is the right date for this one. This is Be a Pineapple by Hands On Design. I have already done, so I've already done, oh, there's a glare on there, sorry. These two here, Work That Crown and the Fob, that I gave my sister for Christmas last year, I think, or her birthday. And I'm working on the tray now, which I'm pretty sure I started the tray February 2022, but not 100% sure. And that is where I'm at with that. At the beginning of this month, I had this done here, very little, and then I did this one for a challenge, and it is coming along. I think it could be a finish either this month or next month is sort of my hopes and dreams for this one. Although if you heard how many, because Keep Shining, I want that one finished this month. I've now said this one I want this month or next month, so I don't know how much time I still think is left in this month. But actually, I was going to mention, so this one here was in a project bag. This project bag here from Little Boat on Etsy. You hopefully have seen a little bit of a cut because I didn't realize I had a pattern showing, so I'll show you this one again. This is the bag that Keep Shining is in. So I I am hoping that I've probably done a cut there because I didn't realize the pattern was showing at the front of the bag. So I apologize for that. Sorry about that. You probably didn't notice I had to pause for a minute to do a little bit of a cut and grab a drink and regroup. Got a bit thrown off there for a second. Next up, we have February 21st of 2022. I was on a start kick in February of last year. This one is another one from a magazine. It is Hibernation House by Amanda Butler. There's a little squirrel there. Little squirrel all ready for bed. I love his little round hobbit door up here. This one is from the Cross Stitcher magazine. I'm not sure which month, but yeah. He is a bit slow going. He is full coverage. He is on a, I don't know what color Witchelt fabric that I got as part of like a club. I wasn't a huge fan of the color. It's not a color I would use too much, but I figured since my little squirrel is full coverage, he doesn't care what color he's on because it's all going to be covered. So this is where I'm up to, working in the tree at the top here and into the door, and I'm loving it. I love the brightness of that door there. And that's on 14 count. Ada. All right, next up we are into my first HAID, Heaven and Earth Designs, for those of you who don't know. So prior to this, I had discovered full coverage Heaven and Earth and was thinking about what I wanted to start, and I do not do decisions well, so picking which one I wanted to start with was something. I don't have a picture of this one with me. I might put the picture here. If I do, this one is actually a gift from my mom. So, and she's seen me working on it, but hasn't seen the full picture. So Mom, if you're watching, look away for like 15 seconds. All right. And then you can come back. All right. If I've had the picture there, I've taken it down now. So this one is, on 25 count. I'm doing 2/1, which I'm not loving. I love the look of it and the feel of it and the coverage of it, but it's hard. It is hard stitching, and I've had a lot of bleeding with this one because I poked my finger a lot. So I debated, let me show you where I'm at here. So I've debated changing it to 10 stitch but I've done so much. I mean, there's still a lot left down here. I have it super professionally clipped with clamps, but I could switch it to 10 stitch or something, but I worry that because of how much I've done, that'll be noticeable. But it's just, it's thick. It's thick. It's like canvasy. So I love something about it, but also it's a bit of a challenge. So I started off working page by page, and I'm mostly a cross-country stitcher at heart. So I've gone rogue recently, and have been stitching blue. So much blue. But I have stats on this one. So this one is a total of 316,500 stitches when it's done. I've so far done 37,388 stitches, and I am at 11.81%. I was looking in my list of projects, and I had a target finish date of this one for October of this year. I've done like 4 pages. Unless I get extremely serious about it very quickly, I don't think that's happening. But I do need to buckle down and work on this one a little bit. Kind of got put off because I was working on so many other smaller pieces, but that one does need to get picked up again. So hopefully I'll pick that one back up shortly. All right, we are at April of 2022. This one, where is it? Here we go. I'm gonna take it out. I hope the glare is not too bad. So this is the blue flower. So this is Moonlight Sampler. by the Blue Flower, which I'm sure you've seen. I think there's quite a few people doing this one on the Flosstubes. I love it. I love owls. I am such a huge owl fan. I love that there's a kitty cat, the dog. I love the night. Everything. As soon as I saw this one, I knew I had to have it. I am doing it on gray 40 count, 1/1 or 1/2, sorry. Mystery fabric. It's a linen. I don't remember and haven't been that great at writing it down. So I'm going to get better at writing down which fabrics I'm using. I thought I had it written down. I'd have to go on a search mission. But I am doing it on, oh, let me see. The color is actually, the lighting is doing pretty good in here. I was hoping that the lighting would be good, and it's pretty true actually. So this is on a gray 40 count, as I said, 1/2, and I have my girl done here, her dog, the kitty cat is done. So I got quite a bit done. I haven't picked it up for a little while, but I'm hoping to pick it up shortly. I've also started working on the alphabet down here at the bottom, which most of the alphabet is in the called for color. And I wish I had it up here, but my initials are MEF. And so since MEF is so close together in the chart, I had to do them in a different color. So I actually picked, I don't know if you can see that, but I picked a different thread. It's a hand dyed by Rolanda. I think it's called Gathering Storm. I'll have to see, maybe next time if I do this one, I'll find it to show you. But I'm just doing those 3 letters in that to kind of distinguish them a little bit. Is that one? That one's my first. It's not my first 40 count because I did a small one on 40 count to test it out, but that's my first bigger one on 40 count. All right. All right. Whew, I'm out of breath. It is not easy work talking to a camera for this long. Also, I have found, I apologize if I'm moving around. I don't sit still that well all the time, and choosing to sit this far away from my wall or any other back support was not the wisest decision. So we might need to reconsider that for next time. But I was getting a lot of glare on my glasses, which is why we landed here, but we'll see. Note to self. All right. We are up to, what are we up to? I didn't write down when I started this one. So let me take a quick look for this one. I went from April and my list jumps to June, and I don't have this one written down. So let's check that really quick. I keep all of my projects. I started keeping them on my iPad in a spreadsheet with the date that I started them and finished them. And this next one is, I started, also on April 4th, 2022. Apparently that was a day of starting. I get into start modes and then I have to start all the things. So I am doing, haven't even talked about which one we're doing here. Have the Fun by Ink Circles. I'm sure you have seen this one. There's a few other people doing it. Someone inspired me to do it. I'm not too sure who, but that one I am doing. I love it. I love travel. I love the different modes of travel that are in this one. I am doing it on blue, some blue by Picture This Plus. I think it's on 14 count. Picture This Plus. I don't remember which Picture This Plus blue it is though. Sorry. So that is where I'm at. And I am doing, if you look at the balloons, you can see they are a variegated floss. So I'm using 3 flosses, partially because I miscalculated when I picked my main floss. I'm doing 3 pearl cottons. So my main one is a hand dyed by Rolanda variegated. And isn't that gorgeous? It's got the green and the blue. and I just loved it, and I really wanted to try pearl cotton. And then, because as I said, I miscalculated, I am also using 2 DMC pearl cottons to go along with it. So those are the 3 that I'm using, and I am rotating around. So some things are being done in the variegated, and then some things are being done in the solids. The horse here, he's in the variegated. The train is all in green, and my plan is, so all the trains will be in green, for instance. All the boats will be in blue. All of these hot air balloons are going to be in variegated. But yeah, I'm really loving how that one's coming along. I would like to have this one done by the end of the year, but it takes longer than I expect it's going to take. So this one is a bit slower moving than I think it's going to be. So I keep thinking, oh yeah, I can finish that, no problem. And then it always takes a bit longer than I'm expecting it to. And that one's in a super classy pouch that I had from who knows what. It works. All right. We are at June of 2022, and we have another Dimensions kit. I really like Dimensions. I know people either love them or hate them. I love them. I love the Dimensions Gold collection specifically. Yeah, I love the detail. I know they can be a bit of a pain, and they always take longer than you expect, but I love it. I did apologize again. I didn't take this one out. But it is Northern Nights, or Northern Night Dimensions Gold. And yeah, I was looking for one with the Northern Lights, and it sort of had a camping feeling. I do a lot of camping. And this one I loved. Apologize for the glare there. I might try and take it out next time to give you a better look of that one. But so this one here, I have been using, I can stitch on it anytime I want, but I'm trying to stitch on it at least every time I go camping or to a cabin. So anytime I go kind of camping or camping-like, I take this one and stitch on it. It is on 14 count, sort of a blue-gray, all the called for kit materials. And this is where we're at. So I started in the center, but I really like to work from the top to the bottom. I found that I prefer top down. And for full coverage like this, I like to kind of start that way. So I started in the center, and I very carefully, fingers crossed, counted my way up and over, and then I'll probably still do cross country, but I'll work on it over and down that way. That is where we're at there. I love this one. Yeah, and it goes both faster and slower than I expect it to, because I've been in a lot of half stitch sections, which then go pretty quick, but there's also quite a few color changes. I almost zipped that up. All right. Next up, we have, I have no expectation as to when that one will be done, because I haven't been working on it a ton. I'd like to work on it more, but it doesn't have a time limit on it. All right, next up is another Haid, another Heaven and Earth design. I love doing a mix of sizes, as you'll notice, but I do love the full coverage ones. I am enjoying them a lot, and I have quite a few more patterns purchased. Luckily for me, every time I haven't decided which ones I want next. So every time there's been a sale, I haven't bought any recently because I don't know what the next one is. I want to start one for my birthday. I have an idea, but I haven't landed on the size I want to do of it. So I've been paused on buying patterns, but honestly, when you're into some of those ones, I have more than will I be able to finish them in my lifetime? Maybe. We'll see. Anyways, this one is Randall Spangler, and it is mini chocolate chips, or mini chocolate on everything. Actually, I should show you the picture. My picture is pretty tiny. Let's see if I can maybe print off a bigger one. I love the Randall Spangler draglings. I want to do so many of them. So the one I started at, I am 14.16%, and I have done 14,310 stitches out of a total of 101,025 stitches. So I love that one. It's a mini, so there's a lot of color, like key color changes, but I really like that one. I'm hoping to work on this one shortly to get a little further along in it. All right, next up we have one that will be finished this year, but not till the end of the year. So last year I did a temperature stitch along and loved it. I did a quilt, a little quilt. I'll see if I can find it and I'll show it to you in maybe a finishes video. This year I loved the looks of the bookshelves, but couldn't decide if I wanted to do one. And then I came across this one by, I believe it is Grandma B. Wilden on Etsy, I think is the name. I don't have a mock-up picture of it, unfortunately. But it is a gothic bookshelf, a goth shelf. So instead of the usual bookshelf, this one is a lot more darker. There's going to be a cat down here at the bottom. We're going to have a cat up here sitting on top. There's also a plant up here, but we have fun things like potion bottles. There's a skull sitting on here, some creepy candles and jars. And then I am doing a full color range of colors. So I wanted to have a nice colorful bookshelf. So that's where I am, almost up to date. So I do this one every day, every Saturday. I actually was away yesterday, so I didn't do it yesterday, so I'm behind. So hopefully I'll get to that later today. But we are down here in May, and as I said, I'm behind. But what I'm doing is I am doing the high color is the main color of the book, and then I'm doing the low as like a binding, like a label on it. So here all the bars are the low color, because I really wanted, I found last year that where I live, in the winter we can get lows of really, really cold, but then the daytime it goes up high enough that I wasn't getting to use my really low colors in the early part of the year. So here I was able to, because with incorporating the low, I was able to get more of those lows and can kind of really show the range that we have. So that is my temperature cell, and I started this one December 4th, 2022, to try and get the frame done. So I have a lot of the frame done, but not quite all. So I'm almost, I think, at a place where I'm sort of caught up and can just do the books on a weekly basis. So I found last year that worked really well for me, is doing the books, or doing the chunks. So I do a week at a time, every week on Saturday morning. It's generally the first thing I do. Right now I've also been working on this a bit more, A, to get points for the challenge group that I'm in, and B, because I'd really, really like to get all of the frame and extra bits done, so that at least come fall, I only have to do a week at a time. You should see. I have my box here, and I'm just piling them up. Future Megan is not going to be a happy camper, but you know what? We'll just send happy thoughts her way. Okay. Next up, I did a first day of winter start. I had intentions, just trying to figure out which pile it's living on. I had intentions of doing a winter start, then a first day of spring start, then summer, etc. And missed spring, or I didn't know which one I wanted to start for spring. So that kind of got paused, and now I'm thinking I'll do for sure winter and summer. We'll see. My other goal is that I'd like my winter one done before I start my summer one. And I go back and forth as to whether that's going to be possible, especially because, Can you remember how many I have said I want to finish this month or next month? And we're almost at the first day of summer. So if we add this one to that, it's not looking good. Oh, and for those of you wondering, because I've been doing a terrible job telling you what count we're at, this is number 15 on my WIP list. So I would bet all of you have seen this. All of you. This is the Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings, and I think we collectively fell in love with this series, with this pattern last year. I don't have all of them. I only got the ones I loved. And I think I have 6, maybe 7 of them. My mom is actually going to do at least 1 or 2 of them. So it's not going to just be me, but I am working on the Fox. I am in classic Megan mode. I am not doing the called for fabric. I am doing all the called for threads though. The fabric, oh, sorry, I had, this is a tangent, 100% a tangent. I don't know how long this video is because I had to pause, so I apologize. I hope you have a drink. If you don't, feel free to pause me, walk away, come back. My feelings won't be hurt. I keep all the threads that I currently have in use on a card so I can find out which ones if we're looking. It's not a perfect system, but it's kind of working. And I had lost it. So that is now found. I thought it was gone forever. Anyways, back to my Fox. Not on the called for fabric. I am doing him, but I do know what fabric I am doing him on. I am doing him on a 18 count Aida called Night Sky by Fiber on a Whim. And guys, he's so pretty. Oh my goodness. He looks so good in the camera. That I think is about true to color. But look at him. He's a bit of a discombobulated head right now. Because of how I was working. As I said, I wanted to work up. So I'm trying to finish up this corner and then I'll go back onto him. Isn't he so pretty? And I really like the dark fabric because he sort of felt like he was meant to be outside at night. So he's on a little darker fabric. And then my plan is I have the rest of this. I got a fat quarter. I'm going to do the reindeer on this one as well. And I didn't get the swans because I liked them but didn't love them for me personally. And so I'm going to do the reindeer on the other part of that one there. And tentative goal is to start the reindeer on December 21st of this year. We'll see how that goes. But that's the plan. The reindeer probably will get started. I'd love to have the Fox done before then though. So I need to focus on him at some point. All right, I have 2 more projects that I started in 2022 and then we'll be on to 2023. So the next one was not a planned start. I was not going to start it. I had started so many and had so many on the go. I was going to not start anything. And then I ordered the Gecko Rouge Ho 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 kit. And when it arrived, I had fallen in love. This is my first Gecko Rouge kit that I started. I think I might have got one before this, but this was the first one I started. And I love it. It's Lorna Lane. And it's a winter jackalope. And he's just, I love her artwork. He's so adorable. I don't know where he is. Here he is. Let me just take off the needle minder. I am doing him. Here we are. So what I did was I started in the middle, and because he's not, unlike most full coverage, he's not really, and he's not square. So to start him up at the top wasn't going to work that well. So I started him in the middle with his like bunny colors here, which is a lot of light all the same. And I got bored of that and I wasn't seeing, it was hard to see. So I transitioned to doing this brown outline and then decided I would do all of it. So I think I color completed that brown outline. And then I was having so much fun color completing and getting zeros on Pattern Keeper, because I use Pattern Keeper where I can. So I was having so much fun getting zeros that I started working from lowest, color completing from lowest number of stitches. So I've also color completed a few others, which I'm not doing any like this. And like, I very rarely will count across to do like random stitches up here. But because I had the frame and because I'm doing it on the easy count, like the gridded, I just figured, why not? I don't think I told you what I'm doing this one on. I'm doing this one on, I believe this one is 28 count, 1/1. I have found that I really love the coverage of 28 count, 1/1. And it's not too thick. So that's my bunny. I am loving him. Part of me would really like to finish him this year. I'm at 7.79%. And I've done 3,740 stitches out of 48,005. So on the one hand, it might be really hard to finish him, but on the other hand, 48,000 is not that many, she says, honestly. But I love him. I hope I'm going to get back to him soon. When I pick him up, I want to just keep going. So I'm hoping he'll come up for a really good challenge shortly with my stitching group, because then I can maybe just keep going on him for a while. I'm going to put him in here. Him and my mini chocolate on everything live in this bag here. Which, by the way, I got these ones from Fat Quarter Shop, and the quality is great, and I love how big they are. They're also perfect for knitting projects. I love them. I love them so much. They're really great. I love them a lot. Okay. Where are we at? Okay, my Christmas Eve start, and also the last project I still have going on from 2022. So this is my Christmas Eve start last year. And hopefully will come up again. I'll work on it again shortly when I'm doing Christmas stitching, now that I'm out of the finish push for the one that I was on, which I am going to show you guys later. I was going to wait to show it until my next video when I do my May wrap up, but I love it so much that I really want to show it. So stay tuned for that a little later on. Anyways, Christmas Eve start was 'Twas the Night by Sue Hillis Designs. I am in love with the Night Before Christmas poem. I love it so much. It is, it's one of my favorites. So I have a couple things I think planned with it, or that I might want to do. So I am not doing it on the called for fabric. I am doing mostly the called for colors, except for that I'm not a huge gold person. I like gold in some things, but this, I decided to give it a little bit more of that Night Before Christmas, I don't know, vibe that I was looking for. Is that a thing? Probably not. I am changing a lot of the gold into black and gray. So where there's a gold border here, mine is going to be black and gray and not that gold. And as I said, I'm not doing it on the called for fabric either. I went totally rogue on this one, guys. Like, I had an idea and that's what I went with, and I'm hoping it'll work. So this is actually on a Fabric Flare printed fabric, 14 count Aida, and it is called Haunted Moon, which, I mean, your first choice probably isn't Christmas with that, but I don't know, there's just something about the Night Before Christmas that I thought it would work. So let me get my, so it's got our moon here, and that, I don't know, it feels kind of like a Night Before Christmas moon. Am I crazy? Am I like making that up? I don't know. Who knows? I'm rambling, I can tell you that much. I do not have a a stellar start on this one. Look at this. I have, what is that? HOL? Maybe? Is that even part of the poem? HOL? I don't. That's where we're at. That's, it's not good. Not good. This one needs to get picked up. This one might need to get picked up before the Santa's Journey does, to get that a little bit better, because that is a bit of a pathetic start. I think that one needs a bit more love. So perhaps I will pick that up this month for Christmas stitching. Could get some good amount done. I might actually be able to get some done on both of it this time around. So that is in both my Santa's Journey and kind of whatever Christmas one I'm working on at the time right now are in this Garon bag, which I love the size of. All right, we are almost there. That is number 17. We are into 2023, and I think I'm going to save any of the finishes other than the one I'm going to show you later. I'm going to save the finishes that I've done so far in 2023 for another video. I haven't decided if I'm going to do them in their own video or not, or at the beginning of a wrap-up one, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Okay, we are on to my New Year, New Start. And this one's not out of the frame because you can see everything that's done in the frame. So this one here was the second Heaven and Earth I decided to, the third, I guess, Heaven and Earth I decided to start. But I decided to hold it until New Year, New Start. And that was a practice in patience is what that was. Let me show you the picture first. I am doing Beloved by Adele Sessler. And this one was, I saw a couple people actually doing it around the same time, which then was like, I just fell in love with it. I'm doing the flipped version. I think that Cross Stitch and Chill, I think her name is Jamie. I think she's doing this one. And Alera is definitely doing this one as well. So if I mention anyone, I'm going to try and link them below. I watch a lot of different Flosstubers. I like to kind of jump around and see who's out there. So anybody that I mention, I'm going to try and link below. So that's that one. And I can't decide if this is a stellar start or a terrible start for how far we're in, but that's where we're at. I started in the corner. This is all the same color gray that I wanted to go across, but I really wanted to get into his hair so that I could have a couple options. I have a black cone over here that I'm working through, and that is where we're at. I do really like this one. I'm working on this one right now for a couple different challenges in my challenge group that I'm in. That's awesome. All right. The next one. So that was, as I said, New Year, New Start. I started that January 1st, and then because clearly no start can go alone, especially giant ones, I had to start a second New Start on January 1st this year because I couldn't help myself. I am doing this one here, I think is the first pattern that made me go over to the Gecko Rouge site. I don't remember if I saw anyone doing this one, but I was watching Cross Stitching Smiles, I think it is, and she has a few Gecko Rouges, and I saw one of her Medusa Dollmaker ones and went over and saw this one, and it was just perfect. So this one, as I said, is Gecko Rouge by Medusa Dollmaker, and it is Gamer Nouveau, and I love her. I always say I'm not a completely hardcore gamer. I'm like medium core. I don't know, but I've been playing video games for as long as I can remember. We had Nintendo and Sony PlayStation, and I just love her. I love her vibe. I love her headphones. I love her chips. Everything about her. So I had to get her. I couldn't help myself. And I've actually done pretty good on her. Oh, I forgot to mention, on my Beloved, I'm at 0.84%. That's I think the lowest percentage of any of my full coverage. On Gamer Nouveau, I'm actually at 2.58% because she worked really well, I think, for a challenge I was doing. And then I sort of just pushed through on her. I wanted her to get her to I wanted to get in at least 3,000 stitches on her for something. And I have done 5,092 stitches. I love working on her. This is where we're at. So I started with the border because there's a lot of border, but my plan is to kind of go back and forth and do some border and some other. And then I'm also kind of trying to do the same outline, because if you look at her, she does have sort of a dark outline all around. The problem is, unlike my my winter jackalope, her border isn't all in the same brown, so it jumps around. But I think that's the strategy I'm going to try and take with her as well. I love her. I want to pick her up. Honestly, I think I would probably, left to my own devices, and if there weren't so many other ones I also wanted to finish, I think I'd spend a significant time on her. I'm really loving her. As I say, don't we say that about all of our projects, that we're loving them? It's like a thing. I just can't stop saying it, though. You just have to. I have to say it. I have to. Okay. Sorry. All right. We are up to number 20. 20. This one I started January 13th. So as I had mentioned, I'm doing seasonal stitching throughout the year. So Christmas stitching I do on the 24th and 25th of the month. And then I'm doing spooky stitching on the full moon. So whatever day the full moon falls on, and the 13th of the month. And then sometimes outside of that. But in January, the 13th of January, I believe, was also Friday the 13th. So it was a double header. So I had to start a project. Had to. This is why I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick to this 23 situation. I keep having to start projects. Anyway, I am doing Tonight We Ride by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I don't think this one is available widely yet. It was part of their Halloween box last year. Honestly, I love Autumn Lane. I love Erin's work. Like, oh, there's so much black. I feel like all I stitch is black half the time, but isn't that just gorgeous? I'll have to show at Halloween next year, I'll show my owl. I did the Happy Halloween, and I love it. I think I will always have an Autumn Lane stitch going because I love them so much. This one is on all the called for because all the called for came in the box. So that is what I'm doing it on. I am in my another Garon project bag. Garon Toten Bags project bag. This is Disney Villains. I'm a Disney girl. Disney Villains. And I have the bag and I have a little pouch that goes along with it. Anyways, all the called for fabric, it is on Pumpkin Patch by The Stitch Me. And I chose the 16 count Ada version. First of all, is this not, this fabric is, this is my first Stitch Me, and it's not going to be my last. It's gorgeous. And as you can see, I am working on one of the houses. I started in the center. My house, this one up here, got a bit wonky because I miscounted. And when I realized I'd miscounted, I wasn't taking it out. The frog was not coming. We were fudging it. I do that a lot if it's not going to be too big of a problem. So nothing else is going to be counted off of this side of the house, and it's a creepy house anyways, so I don't think anyone will know. Except for all of you, because I've just told you. That is Tonight We Ride. And I just have to show you, as I said, I'm doing all the called for, which is all DMC for this one. And sorry, I'm gonna Velcro, so I apologize. But the box came with these floss drops that, yes, I often use bobbins, but I've been doing a few floss drops. But look at this. Are those not adorable? And every one is slightly different. I love them. I love them so much. So those are my flosses. And it's like a ton of skeins of black. Five skeins of black DMC. All right, that is that one. And that's also, I think that's my only spooky stitch going on at the moment, because I finished the one I was working on previously, which I think we'll have to come up in a finish video because I didn't finish it this month. All right, and now we've moved to piling. You should see I have a lot of space here because I'm currently sitting on the bed of my trailer, but it's a good thing I had all this space because I'm spreading out. The girl is spreading out. All right, we are on the second last current project is cookies for the Easter Bunny. And I don't think I have a picture of this one. I realized that I didn't have a picture, but I haven't printed one off. I'm gonna hold it way back here so you can't see any of the chart. But there's 4. It's the frosted pumpkin. There's 4. I am working on the bunny right now. I'm doing new moon, new starts as well. So that's when I'm trying to keep my new starts. I'm trying to keep new starts to certain schedules. So this was the new moon, new start in February. I believe I finished whatever my new moon, new start was in January. So this one was the February one. And I am doing it on 28 count purple. Picture this plus. I don't know which purple. I'm trying to think if I can come up with the name. I don't think it's the called for. It was just one I liked, and I'm doing it 2/2. There's my bunny. There. He's cute. He needs a rest of his face. But he got put away for a little while when I was working on other things, but hopefully he'll get pulled out again shortly. I would love, in a perfect world, to have all of them finished by next Easter. They were all supposed to be done by this Easter. That was not a thing that happened. So hopefully, maybe next year I'll have them all done. And this is in a project bag I made. Project bag by me. And it's got minions on it. You can see, I don't know if it's going to focus on them. And then it's got this really cool geometric pattern in the middle. And zipper by Zipper Valley. I'm loving their zippers and pulls. It's just a plain pull, but that is my project bag by me. All right, I just found a needle on the back of a needle minder here. That is, I better be careful with that. All right, my last one that is currently on the go. My most recent start was my April new moon, new start. So as you can see, January, new moon, new start, I would have finished already. I don't even remember what it was. I'll have to look it up and show you guys. And then the March one I finished. So the April one is a stitch along, because I love it. So 2 stitch alongs were announced around the same time. The Frosted Pumpkin one, which I loved their one last year. But I am stepping aside and I'm letting my mother do it this year, even though the theme, if you haven't seen it, for the Frosted Pumpkin one is like fantasy, and I love it. I'm so excited for it. So I will live vicariously through my mother for that one. And then I am doing the LolaCrow stitch along that just started, which is Greenhouse of Oddities. I did her Haunted Library stitch along last year and loved it. Absolutely loved it. So at first I wasn't going to do this one when it was announced, and then I could not help myself. I love her work so much, and I love the look of it. I am currently working on the frame of it. I've done all the black of the frame, and have started on some of the others. The first week, you can still sign up. There's still time before it starts. The first part drops May 26th, I think. But if you want to start, I'd highly recommend starting it sooner because you can work on the frame, because guys, it's a big one. Again, black, all the black. But like, look at it. Look at those crows. There's going to be some other animals down here I haven't got to yet. I would show you the picture, but it's on my phone, and you guys are on my phone right now. So it is on a 14 count. I want to say, I don't know, maybe Artichoke by Witchelt. I love it. I'm so excited for it. So this one is going to take up. I try very hard to stay on top of hers. I'm hoping to have the whole frame finished by the time the first part comes out. So I'm at 62.84%. My goal is to have all of it done when the first part comes out, and then it's weekly with, I think, a couple weeks of pause break in between. And I tried very hard to stay on top of it. I stayed on top of the last one. So let's see if I could do the same for this one, because I just found a rogue thread there. But yeah, I love it. So, and this is in another project bag by me. More minions. More minions! I've been on a bit of a project bag kick as I practice and get more used to sewing and using. I was practicing zippers. Another zipper. So, and that's it. We have to be at least an hour in. I paused at one point so I could do a bit of, because I might have to do some editing. I had paused. I'm already at 46 minutes on this one. So, I think WIP parades are allowed to be long. We'll go with that. I hope. Thank you. If you're still with me, thank you for sticking with me. I know I love a long video, but I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. So, all right. So, I think that is it for the WIP parade. Let's talk for a couple minutes about plans going forward for the channel. And then I'm gonna, you can, if you're just here from the WIP parade, you can leave after that. I'm gonna show a bit of retreat goodness. So this first video is gonna be real long, but if you're not interested in retreat stuff and haul, you can feel free to leave after this. So maybe I'll do that in a second video. I might do a second video with just my retreat goodness. I don't know. We'll see. See how the next 2 minutes go when I can decide. Anyways, so I'm hoping, my current goal is to maybe do a video every 2 to 3 weeks. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna play it by ear. I really want to hopefully keep going, but I don't want to put too much pressure. If I put too much of a structure, I really need the structure, but I don't want to put too much that's too much pressure if I can't get to it, and then I just won't do it. So hope is for 2 to 3 weeks. I'm thinking that my next normal Flosstube will be the end of June. So either the very end of May or the first weekend in June, so that I can do a full May wrap up. And then after that, we may look to doing every other week or every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how things go, especially because we get in the summer and it starts to be tricky with travel. I'd also like to do a video with the finishes that I've done so far in 2023. I'd like to do, as I mentioned before, some of my other craft projects. I'll do them in their own video, and then maybe I'll do a pattern / Heth kitted up parade. We'll see how that goes. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me for my WIP parade. I hope that you were able to see something that you liked. If this is all you're here for, thank you. I hope you'll come back. I hope I'll see you again. Feel free to like and subscribe and do all those YouTube things. Comment. Let me know how you found my video. And for those of you who'd like to continue, I am going to spend a little time talking about the retreat I went to. I went to Stitch North this past last weekend, the first weekend of May. It was my first cross stitch retreat and it was so much fun. I had a great time. I was a bit nervous, but my mom and I went together. I ended up sitting at the same table as all the Evertote people Caroline from Evertote and her crew are the ones who ran it and put it together. Thank you so much. I sat at her table, which was nice. It was a little more low-key because they were up and down to go to the store, but for me and my brain and my first experience, it worked out really, really well. I think it was perfect for me. So I had a lot of fun. I've already signed up to go next year. It's in right now. Pre-registration is in place just for the people I think who were at the retreat last year, but keep an eye out. And I'd love to see you next year. I'm going to weekend 2 next year. So I'm really excited about that. I met a few people this year. I met Michelle, Bendy Stitchy, very briefly. So there's 0 chance that she will know me or remember me, but that was really fun. And I met I'm completely blanking on her name right now. Ali, from Misfit Stitches, and I chatted with her, and that was really nice. So, and then I met lots of other people. So I had a blast. It was great. I had lots of fun. And of course I did some shopping because there were some great vendors. If you're familiar with Roxy Floss Co, it used to be called Leo and Roxy Floss Co. I met her. I was sitting at the same table as her, bought some of her flosses. Yeah, it was a great time. So let's take a look at my goodies from the retreat. All right, so I apologize. I took my tote bag. So this is a Sherlock Holmes tote bag that I took with me that has all my goodies have been living in it. I apologize. The reason I'm apologizing is because I have a crinkly brown bag in here, which was the goodie bag that we got as part of being there. So this was the bag we got when we first got there. All the bags were slightly different, and depending on what weekend you went to, depending on what you got, and depending on what all the vendors had given. So let's take a look. How about? All right, so from Brin Nedle, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. They're a floss company, floss and fabric, I believe, from out east, Newfoundland. So let's take a look at that. I got, so it came with a pattern, which, let me see if there's a picture that I can show without, no, I can't. So it is, do a really quick way back. Nope, you're not gonna be able to see. It's a mermaid tail, that was just for us it's called Here We Baby Free, and it's a mermaid tail for Stitch North. So I wish I could show you that, but if I hold it too close, it's just the pattern, and if I hold it too far back, you can't see it. So, but that's a really cute pattern that hopefully I'll do shortly, and then you'll be able to see it. Maybe I'll start that as my new moon, new start shortly. Anyways, distracted. It came with a small piece of fabric, which is really gorgeous. I think it is Aida, probably a 14 count Aida. And then it came with a floss called Land and Sea. And their floss, I don't know if you've seen their flosses. Oh, but they are just gorgeous. Like, how beautiful that is. I love it. All right. So that was from them, which was lovely. And I'm hoping to start that one shortly. They do the Quirky Quakers as well. So I love me a Quirky Quaker. I think they're all called Quirky Quakers. One of my finishes, if I do a 2023 finish parade, is a Quirky Quaker. We got a little Freddy Frog. He's a pin. Sorry, he's a bit glary, but he's a pin to go on a bag. He's really cute. He was from Canadian Stitchery. He's to help protect from the dreaded frog, but look at how cute he is. He's so cute. We got This is still in a bag. I apologize for the crinkle. I haven't taken it out, and I don't want to take it out and do a ton of crinkle, but it's an Ort bag, little denim Ort bag. It's adorable. It was from I Can Sew Make That. It's gorgeous. We got from Rocky Mountain Needle Minders. Got a little snowman. I got a little snowman needle minder. Isn't he so cute? We went with a hope of getting more needle minders, and then got a bunch just even in our like gift bag, which was amazing. So he's adorable. And then we got from Sheba Designs, who I believe she made some cross stitch or project bags, which I loved. You'll see one from her in a minute. We got a little bag of buttons. So my buttons are orange and green. Adorable. And then, so from Evertote, we got a needle minder. So a stitch, oh, that's a glare. There'll be a glare there. A Stitch North needle minder that I love. I love A Night Sky, and I love it. Love it. I'm excited now that I'm finally doing this. All of my things have been sitting in a pile because I was planning on doing this Flosstube and I didn't want to use them until I had done it. So I get to put everything into a new home after this video and start using them. So I'm super excited about that. I had to decide on if I wanted to do the video or put my stuff away. It needed to happen. Got a pattern, Celtic Flamingo by Karen E. Dudzinski, I believe, which was Textured Treasures. They were a vendor at the retreat. I don't know if that's showing that well, but it's got some specialty stitches. I'll show you the back here. So that's really cute. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I really like that. A couple other patterns I apologize, I haven't taken these out of the bag, so I hope that they're not going to be too glary. The first one was designed for Stitch North, A Bird and Flowers by Anna Collado, who is Stitch Toolbox on Etsy. And that is really pretty. Some birdies. I really like that one. And then the other one isn't one in my normal, I don't do, you'll have noticed, I don't do a lot of traditional samplers, though there are some I really like. I especially like if they're a little more quirky. So I don't know if I'll do this one, all of it, but I'm probably going to do parts of it for sure. And that is Throw Wide the Windows by Shakespeare's Peddler. I'll put that back in the bag in a minute. What? Okay. Cover your ears. I have crinkle. I'm gonna do as little crinkle as I can. But I have crinkle because I did not go through here to take things out of bags. So I apologize for that. So I got a little, what do you call it? Like a little bag pull there. Which is adorable. I'm gonna put it on one of my bags. Little zipper pull. These were from Keymat Designs, which is a cross stitch shop out west, I believe. And then we got a little laundry soak that I have not used before, so I'm excited to try that out when I wash something. And then we got, oh, this was not in the bag, so I'll show you that in a second. I hope this doesn't have too much of a glare, but from the Sewing Shop, I think we're getting to the end of my words over here. The sewingshop.com, Sewing Shop Inc. Got a little needle minder, and this was honestly the perfect needle minder. I hope you can see him. He's a little Canada stamp, and he's a flying squirrel, and I love flying squirrels. I saw one at Stitch North when I was little, and I love them. So I'm so excited to start using this needle minder. I'm so excited. He's so cute. So cute. All right. that I still need to show you. What else do we have? Oh, we got a little maple candy. So that I will eat at some point. I love my maple candy. Okay, I think that's everything in my bag. I just have, I think the pattern from the weekend from Evertote. Has a floss from Roxy Floss Co. This is Swagger, which is a gorgeous red. I hadn't been able to try Brin Nedle or Roxy Floss yet. So they were both on my list of things to buy this weekend, and I am so excited. So that's a gorgeous red. And then the pattern we got is Stitch North 2023. So, which I am going to hopefully start shortly. This is another one that's high on my list of starts. So yeah, that was everything in the goodie bag. But that's not everything I got. So I got a couple freebie things that people walked around with. So we had 2 people who walked around with floss drops, handing out floss drops. One of them I've left in my room in the house. I'm not going to go get it. So I'll try to remember to show you next week. And then the other is in a bag that I just had. I just had it. But it's chaos. It is chaos around me right now. And I don't know where it, ha! I found it. And these are ones I believe that have nature pictures on them. So they're little floss drops, which are quite gorgeous. So they were from a couple stitchers. So those are really cute. I'm excited to use those. Then the other ones have doggies on them. They're adorable. Again, I apologize, I forgot to bring them down. I had them on my list to bring down and then forgot. And then I got another needle minder that is a bottle cap, and this was by Snickerdoodle Stitch. You can see that there. Isn't that cute? So I'm excited to use that. I love little bottle caps as well. So yeah, I'm excited to use that one. Got so many needle minders. So I was super excited. The needle minder acquisition was a success. A roaring success. All right. Oh, I forgot. I'm gonna try and see if I can pop a picture in here for my smalls exchange. If not, I'll try to make a note to show you next time because I forgot it in my room and I don't want to pause to go get it. I'm gonna try and put a picture here. Was my smalls exchange. It's so cute. It's a little I can't think of the name. Pincushion, but the it'll come to me. You'll see it. It'll be there, I hope. Fingers crossed. Promising things that future Megan needs to edit in. It's never a good sign. But and then in the same package from my smalls exchange. So we did a smalls exchange. Unfortunately, I don't remember if I took a picture of what I gave. If I did, I'm gonna try and pop it in here. I'm really hoping there's gonna be pictures where I'm pointing to, but. And then mine I got was the one I showed a minute ago, and it's lovely. And I got to meet the person who gave it to me, and she was a lovely lady from Quebec. And she put in some pins that match with it really well into the bag, and then a lovely card that her mom painted. It's so gorgeous. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I want to frame it, so I might frame that and put it on my wall. It's adorable. I loved it. Love it so much. And I cannot believe I forgot to grab that pincushion. That I also can't remember what they're called. All right, so from Shiba Designs, who I was telling you about. Sorry, I'm going to have a zip. Maybe a minute ago. I could not. Her bags were gorgeous. She's a local bag maker. My bag has gotten crushed, which good job me. I'm gonna have to go and flatten that. This one spoke to me as soon as I saw it. Oh, they are the cutest purple squirrels. They're so dainty. The inside is gorgeous. It's got a little charm. I love it. And I actually saw the Floss Keeper first and hadn't seen the bag. And then she showed me the bag. But her Floss Keepers are adorable. They're such great quality. They're nice and poofy. And then they open up. They have flannel inside. And then the little felt here. I love it. I fell in love with the fabric the moment I saw it. And the bags are amazing quality. It's super. Love it. Love it. And I'm so excited to start using it. Might put I don't know what I'm going to put in there yet. Just punch myself in the face. Oops. Oops. I love that one. All right. What else do we have? I'm trying not to crinkle. There were a lot of paper bags. So a few things are crinkly here. Okay, from the Evertote booth, I picked up a few different things. So first, I picked up two fabrics, Roxy fabrics. They're gorgeous. Both are one of a kind. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the modeling at the bottom. This one is 18 count Aida. And then I got a 16 count Aida in this beautiful pinky purple. I have no idea what I'm doing on them, but I fell in love with the color when I saw it, and I kept peeking at the color, and I was sitting right in front of their table, and they spoke to me. They had to come home with me, even though I don't know what I'm going to do. I also bought 3 threads that I don't have any plan for, which are ones that I believe are discontinued. So this is Teal We Meet Again, Tangy, which is a great orange, and Cosmos. I love my bright colors. I love colors. Cosmos, look at that variegation. Gorgeous. All right, so those ones there have no current plan. I also bought, so I have the pattern to do the heartstring samplery. I didn't buy this there. I forgot to show. Anyways, I didn't buy this there, but have been trying to decide what flosses I want to do with it. So I was inspired to do this by Oddities Stitches, who I love. You should check her out if you haven't already. So I was inspired to do this one by Oddities Stitches, and we're repeating things, but I wanted to do it in the Gloriana silks. But as you probably know, Gloriana silks are next to impossible to find right now. I have had some on my wish list at 123 Stitch for months, and every time I look, they're never there. Like, I think I have them on the like notify me. I've given up hope. So what I decided to do was I did a Roxy Floss conversion. Look at this. Look. Aren't those so cute? They're gorgeous. I think it's going to be perfect. The only one I didn't convert, obviously there's a DMC Etoile, which I'll use the Etoile, but I have no idea what fabric I'm doing yet, but I am so excited. So that one will get started at some point this year. I don't know if I'm going to hold off and do it as my Christmas Eve new start, or if I want to start it before that, but that one's going to get done. So those were what I bought from there. I just fell in love, so I'm going to do that in those instead of the silks. I had pre-ordered. I apologize, there's going to be crinkle for a minute. Uncanny Kari and D's 20 Stitches did a pattern for the retreat. I believe they were there on weekend A, but if you were there on the second weekend, you could pre-order their pattern or pick it up at the Brin Nedle booth. but because it is done in Brin Nedle floss. I didn't buy any of the flosses for it. I'm probably going to do either my own conversion or the DMC, but the pattern is toonies. They're so cute. Look at that little loon and the little one on top and the trillium. I loved it. It's so Ontario, and I had to get it as soon as I saw it. I knew I had to get it. So I'm excited to do that one. I have no idea when I'm going to start that one. It's not currently on the start list, but I got a couple of freebies from the freebie table. Most of them I can't show because they're just the patterns from Dimensions kits. But two that I can show, I got a Love My Cat Quaker, which I'm going to do my own conversion for, and a Leisure Arts pamphlet that I couldn't quite decide on, but between my mom and I, we liked it enough that we decided to pick it up. So those are the freebies we picked up. And then in my last bag, I apologize again, we're going to have a second of crinkle. So this is a combination of mine and my mom's, I believe. Yes. Flosses from Brin Nedle. So first off, we got the Flamingo Quirky Quaker and the sheep. There. And then we got some flosses. So the ones that my mom got are, she got the Devil's Footprints. Where did my board go? Let's see, can we use this? Let's use this. So the Devil's Footprints, which is, look at those. I don't know if this is going to do it justice, but those colors. It's like a grays and purples. Mug Up to Remember. Which I really hope you can see the speckling. Look at that. Do you see that? Oh, it's so pretty. And Holidays Round the Bay, Cheers Me Dears. The ones that she bought. And I believe all the ones that have names are still available. And then I got Let's Get Tipsy, because I could not keep my eyes off of it. Look at, like, what? I have no idea what I'm going to do, what pattern I'm going to do yet. I think it would do really cute on a Quirky Quaker, maybe my unicorn. And this one here, they had some that were hanging on multiple spots. I picked this one up every single place it was, so it was obviously meant to be. This one is called Old Hag, and it is like a really dark blacks and grays and a little bit of a green tint. If you haven't noticed, I love me some nice black and grays. Yeah, this is not at all doing it justice, but it is gorgeously modeled, and like there's some like greeny teals in there. Yeah. And then I bought their April 2023 floss pack, which I loved all the colors of. And I was really nice to see some of the floss packs because I thought about subscribing to this their kit or the Roxy ones. So those might happen. But we have Summer in Newfoundland is my favorite day of the year. I love their names as well of their flosses. That gorgeous pink with some pebbling in it. And then we have January. And then we have Fool's Spring. And Sprinter, which if you're not sure, it doesn't mean someone who runs. It's that time between spring and winter where Canadian summer and Newfoundland summer spring can't make up its mind. It's really cool. I don't think you can see, there's like pebbly blue. And then Kaplan here, which is a gray, a lighter gray. But isn't that like, look at these all together. pretty. So I'm so excited. I'm very excited to try both the Roxy Floss and the Brin Nedle. I've been wanting to try out both of them for quite some time. So I was excited to get quite a few of those. So that is everything, I think. I also got a little stitch floss threader, which is over there, and I'm not gonna go grab it. I'll show you another week. It's a little butterfly. So that's everything. Now I know this video has already been long, so I apologize. Thank you so much if you're still here at the end. I was actually going to show this earlier before we moved into the retreat section, and I forgot. So you guys get a special little bonus if you stay this far, and everyone else needs to wait till next time. So on the Saturday of the retreat, I realized that I was getting close to a finish of the Christmas piece I have been madly working on for the last few months. And I was close enough that I thought there was a chance I could finish it during the retreat and then be able to do the like victory, I have a finish cheer kind of deal. And so of course, naturally, I had to push through, even though I brought however many pieces and had plans. I had wanted to finish my Greenhouse of Oddities style frame last weekend, and I don't even think I touched it. But I did finish this, and it was so close to having been finished a year after I started it. So I started this one May 1st of 2022, and I finished it May, what it would have been, 6th, I think? Last Saturday. Whatever last Saturday was, I finished it. Let me just move this here. It is a, I don't have all the details, because I don't think I brought them. Maybe I did. So it's a Dimensions kit. It was a Petite Gold Collection Petite, which are the small ones that have a ton more work than you think they do. And this is actually the second one that I did by the same designer, who is, what is his name? Jim Mitchell. I now have both of them. I didn't bring the other one down to show you. The other one I had started in the middle of the period where I wasn't really stitching, but I knew I still wanted to cross stitch, so it was kind of worked on a little bit. So that one took a ridiculous number of years, but this one took me just over a year. And guys, I love it. Look, so it's the toy shop, and look at that. I'm so happy with it. Look, there are 105 French knots, I think. I love it. These I love. I think I discovered it took me 24 stitching days spread out over the year, and I love it so much. I can't wait to start another one, even though they're challenging. Yeah, I love it. Love it. So that is it. I think we are at least at an hour and a half, probably a little bit longer. I don't think they'll always be this long, but a WIP parade sometimes a WIP parade can take a hot minute, and I know I did a bunch of rambling. So thank you again for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and I hope that you will join me back here. I hope I join me back here. So have a wonderful day. I didn't think through how to sign off, so I will see you next time. Happy stitching!